Okay, now I want to talk a minute about, my headline would be, don't make focusing into another entity. If you don't know focusing, and the world doesn't really have it yet, then it's an entity. So tell people about focusing. And tell it in such a way that they don't know what you mean. No, really. If you're going to tell them about focusing and you expect them to know what you mean, they don't need you. They know it already. Tell them there is something that's hard to explain, that you do, and that you're willing to show somebody, but it's hard to explain, and most people don't understand it, and it's something like paying attention to an implicit intricacy, and they'll say, what? And they say, yeah, see, I know I can't explain, but I can show you. You know, you can't explain ice skating either, but you can show it to somebody. You know, how exactly we keep our balance on the little... Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that focusing is not a country, a culture, a religion, a tradition. It's not an entity. Once you know focusing, it's just a way that you do things differently. Everything is different with focusing. So then you will have focusing. So I know people who have devoted their years focusing, and now they've gone on to something else, and I find some of these people feel bad about it. They try to tell me that this next thing that they developed isn't focusing, or they try to say it is focusing. I'm saying, we're just confusing people. Of course it's not focusing. It's this thing which you're teaching. It's energy work, let's say, or whatever it happens to be. But it's so clear when you do it, you're focusing. You're using focusing to do this well. But this isn't focusing. Okay? So, for instance, meditation is not focusing. And focusing is not meditation. Do they go well together? Yes. Do they help each other? Yes. Can you do them both at the same time? I don't think so. I think meditation is going way to somewhere where, when I say maybe you know some other way where they go together, I mean it. This territory, internal territory, is implicitly intricate. And the geography that you move in is not the same as the geography that I move in. We make certain general things so we can meet, but you may have a way to do them both together, and you may feel that what I just described is not really meditation the way you do it. That's all okay with me. Coming back, I want to say, don't make focusing into a religion or a movement or an entity or a country or anything like that. It's something that you learn, and you can do everything else better. Okay. The second point under this is, we need everything else. So along with don't let's have groups and don't express your feelings and don't get into your feelings, I would say, don't do focusing, please, by itself. Focusing is like a motor or something. And you use a motor to go somewhere. You don't just go downstairs and rev up your motor every day. Right? So you want all the other things. So if somebody is combining focusing with shamanism, let's say, you want to hear from them what that is, shamanism. And they will be able to tell you much better than the regular shaman because they know focusing. So they'll be able to describe what that is for them in an experiential way, and you'll get it right away. But most people are not aware of that. So this person I'm referring to has now gone on to energy work and feels bad because she thinks she left focusing, which she's unable to do, because once you know focusing, you can't leave it. You can leave it as your daily work or something, but you can't. I mean, she is now trying to describe this energy work the way the energy work people describe it. And that way I can't find it. So I say, well, wait now, let me keep company while you do it out loud. And then comes out all this detail that lets me find what she's doing. The fact that she knows focusing makes her do the energy work in a better way and in a way that I can understand. So I'm saying both. I'm saying focusing is totally essential in doing all the other good things the way they are intended to be done. We need those other things. I mean, we focusing people need those other things. So it is important to make focusing into an entity, to get it out to people. That I've said that earlier. It's like, okay, you taught somebody focusing, they're fine, they don't know they're focusing. Do tell them, so that they can tell somebody else about it, so that they can look at our webpage, so that they can join us, so that we get focusing out to people. But in the way you use it, just have it and you'll see that you can do everything else better. And please don't just focus. Learn the other things too, because they're also important. Action is important. One little action can change a whole situation. One phone call. If you're a certain kind of focusing person, you'll never make that phone call. You always feel like, well, it's not the right time, and I'm not sure, and why is it, and why am I doing it anyway, and couldn't I just go to this good spiritual place where I don't need to do anything? And so I say, make the phone call. You know, let's have, the hell with 6 steps, let's have 7, and let's have the 7th step be action. An innocent action, not the action that, not quit your job, just call some people who know other jobs, you know? Not sell your house, just inquire to what kind of real estate exists. Little actions that change, open up the whole situation, you know? Don't write somebody very tenuous relationship a 6-page letter, you know? Don't do it. Just write, say, hello, I'd like to be in touch with you again. What are you doing? That's all. And everything opens. All right.